Greg here on the third floor. I'm here with Cody Hyatt and Patrick Healy, and we're talking Outcasts. Quick disclaimer, when we filmed this, the M3 was still in open beta, so some of the details we talk about might change, but thematically everything should remain about the same. Time to talk about thematically one of my all-time favorite masters. I remember listening about Jack Daw and the Breachside broadcast, some of the coolest stories in the books. I just always thought Jack Daw was a really neat master. He's just Outcast. What does Outcast Jack Daw look like? Or no, he's dual master now, isn't he? He's Outcast and Rezer, so that's probably kind of like him too because I'm a Rezer player. But talk to me about Jack Daw. What can I anticipate seeing with Jack Daw?
So Jack Daw is going to run a death ball of tormented models. Okay. And if you get mixed up in the ball, you're going to get drugged down and shackled up too.
Wow. Suffocated and then just torn to pieces, basically.
Gotcha. So what's kind of his main mechanic? What is Jack Daw doing?
Well, he has a very interesting health mechanic. Okay. So he's only health 6. So he has actually less health than even like the Victorias.
Wow.
But he has an ability called Undying. Whenever he would suffer damage, he can discard a card. If he does, that whatever that damage was is reduced to 1 irreducible damage.
So assuming he has the cards, it's going to take at least 6 hits to bring him down.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And that's irreducible, so then he can't stone for that damage as well.
Right.
But then he has Injustice. Whenever a tormented model, his keyword, would draw a card, 1 or more cards, for every, instead of drawing those cards, he can heal for each card that would be drawn. Instead of letting them draw cards. So I'm anticipating I'm going to be finding, as we talk into the crew, we're going to be seeing a lot of card draw.
Yeah, so the ability Torment itself says whenever a model with this ability damages a target, at the end of its activation, could draw a card.
Draw a card.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a very interesting psycho your hand, and your cards will become a whole other resource for you as well.
Very interesting, and that's what's going to keep him alive. So offensively, what does Jack Daw bring to the table?
So he has he's going to do a lot with Staggered.
Okay.
So meeting that sort of death ball-y theme, he's either going to slow models down or pull them into the ball and slow them down there. And when a model is staggered, first of all, his noose makes them discard a card when he hits them. And then he has a ram trigger that if he's attacking a model with an upgrade on it, a staggered model, it does +2 damage. So he's swinging at min 4 there.
Ooh, okay.
So he becomes quite a bit of a beater.
Got it. Once he's gotten that, once you've got that model, it's got the staggered condition on it.
Yeah.
That could make him potentially min 4. Now you talk about an upgrade on it, so I think we need to talk about that. How does he hand out?
He has these cursed upgrades he adds to you. He has a couple of suppressed memories as his main one. It's a ranged attack 8 that attaches a curse upgrade and does damage to you. The curse upgrade, going back to this idea right here, is at the start phase, if you have one attached, you gain stagger.
Okay.
It also gives you the tormented keyword.
Oh, that's
and the other big thing he does is he moves tormented models around. So at the beginning of the game, he's pushing his crew around.
Right.
And then as he starts cursing other enemies, he starts moving you too. So that death ball, he sucks you into that crew then, and then he just wails on you.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, so his quick action is target a tormented model within 16 inches, and another tormented model can push towards that model.
Got it.
So and push himself, any sort of torment.
And if he's making the enemy tormented, that's opening up vectors for his own models and giving him the ability to push them as well.
Breaking up their bubbles, all kinds of stuff.
Very interesting. So if you can keep him alive, he's pretty dangerous, it sounds like.
And remember, he's also got a bonus action, Pulse 4. Draw a card for each tormented model or each cursed upgrade attached around you.
Got it. So instead of that 4, I could just say I'm not going to draw any, and I'm going to heal myself back up to 4. Yeah. So if I'm pretty good at managing resources, this sounds like kind of a cool master because it's if you know when to draw the card, when to take the heal, when to get him in the thick of things, when to get him out of thinking, when to do discard, when to know to have cards so you can do the discard. A lot to think about, but he can be really tough to take off the board.
I think he defines battle lines really well, too, which can be very important in a lot of the strategies because he's going up, he's attaching these upgrades that give you staggered. Some models can give out staggered from range, not too many, but you're slowing them down and then punishing them when they come in.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, that's Jack Daw. All right, so you've sold me on Daw. I thought before we started talking the Daw was cool. Now you made him sound even cooler. Let's talk about the rest of his keyword. What are Tormented crews looking like?
Yeah, he's got a lot of nice synergy in the crew box. So we talk about Montresor first.
Okay.
His henchman.
Yep. He is very hard to kill. So he has hard to wound, he has terrifying 11, and he has an ability that once per turn, when he dies, he can pitch a card to heal 4.
Oh, okay.
And he's 10 wounds anyway, so he's a nice big tank.
But a little bit of hand pressure there, right? Because I'm pitching cards for him and for Daw.
Everything in your hand is valuable.
I bet.
So he's still got the Torment, so if he's damaged a model into the turn, he takes, he draws a card into the turn. And his biggest thing around in the front of his card is hanging ropes. So you cannot, the stagger condition within 6 inches doesn't go away. It just doesn't end.
So that works really well with Daw.
Yeah, stagger just stays on and dodge. It goes away when Dog kills you, basically.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And the stagger condition, that's the movement one, right? That's just keeps making it. So once you get, like you said, once you get pulled into that,
it's not going away.
You're not
Your
going
movement's
away.
reduced. It's not going away. And then Jack Daw can hit min 4 on you. And that's discarding cards when he hits you.
Yeah, and while we're talking punishing auras, we got to talk about his totem, Lady Legia. Legia.
Yeah.
So while you're within 6 of her, you have to discard a card to cheat fate.
Yep.
That's the main thing she does.
Yeah,
that's very much your win more condition. So if you come into Jack Daw and you're in that aura, you're taking terrifying checks.
Yep.
You have to pitch a card. If you fail it, you have to pitch a card to cheat fate on your actions.
More than that, go back to Montresor. He's got a ranged attack that hits you for damage, 10-inch range, gives you staggered, then with a built-in ram to drag you in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you talk about like a win more thing, but it almost kind of evens the table a little bit because I'm not going to be using my cards to cheat with, right? Well, with Daw and with Montresor, I'm going to be keeping those cards here. So making it harder for my opponent to cheat maybe makes things a little bit more even as far as the duels are concerned. Or is there anything that's mitigating the fact that I want to keep cards in my hand? Is there anything in the crew that's really kind of helping me win duels? Or are you pretty much...
but most of the stuff in his crew is stat 6 that I'm seeing.
Well, your card draws too, though, right? You guys mentioned that, right? So instead of healing, I can do the card draws. That'll help considerably. Okay.
And you still have stones. So say if somebody hits you for 2, well, I could pitch a card and reduce it to 1, or I could just stone and I'm probably reducing it to 1 or maybe 0 right there.
Good point. Okay.
So Daw and Montresor both can still use stones.
Got it. So. Just because the mechanic's there doesn't mean you're going to use it every time.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
But it's great if they flip the red Joker. It's like, well, I could stone that or I'm just going to pitch a card.
Yeah.
So people are actually be very unlikely to try to even waste time going for big shots on Daw.
Yeah, I think one of the additional themes of the crew is your most valuable AP becomes pretty less valuable.
Sure.
You want a lot of AP. It doesn't matter how valuable it is because it's kind of all doing the same thing.
Yep. It's all doing 1 damage.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Any other tormented models that I want to watch out for?
The Guilty.
Yeah. So you want to bring some sources of staggered, no matter what your minion choice is. So he has a lot of choices in Rezzers to bring over that has the tormented tag. The Guilty is one of them. They basically can just stagger with their melee attack. But the cutest thing they have is when they're killed by a non-minion, they're summoned either in your deployment zone or next to Daw.
But better than that, even when they die, they attach another cursed upgrade. They have it counts for Daw's cursed upgrades, but this one's very neat because it increases your hand size.
Oh, that's nice.
So that card resource mechanic, now suddenly you have a 7-card hand.
Very
then you can have an 8-card hand.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Punishing that thing, you got this boss henchman that you're throwing fast, you're throwing all these things to. He comes and kills a Guilty, now he's just tormented and gave me a free model.
So I would imagine if I've got a master coming in or a henchman coming in that's a problem, I just load Guilty into that and it's kill him.
Your big meter Nekoma comes in, throw a couple Guilty at him, stagger him, she's got to kill him.
That's cool.
And then guess what? Now your hand size is up. She's staggered, Daw's going to come in and hit her, and you got extra cards.
Very cool.
Yeah, you want some sort of minion source to give you staggered, whether Guilty. Maybe the matchup requires you to bring more Crooked Men or something because they have a ranged blast shot that gets staggered on the blast. That's a really efficient way to hand out staggered.
And Crooked Men are interesting that they make the area around your scheme marker. So if it's like a scheme heavy dropping pool anyway, take a Crooked Man. Then all your scheme markers become hazardous terrain.
Oh, that's cool.
It gives staggered, which is very neat. So they're about a bit of a tech pick, I think.
Sure.
But they have some interesting ideas right there.
So it sounds to me like it could be a very annoying crew, especially if they're played well, right?
Almost suffocating.
Do you think it's a hard crew to play? Is this a good beginner?
It has a high learning curve. That hand management is so different. You're playing a 6-wound master.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh, it's great. I just pitch cards. Well, then what are you doing for the rest of your turn?
Yep.
I think this is going to end up being a very win big, lose big crew.
Okay.
You're either going to get the ball rolling, you got 4 staggered models, and then you're just tossing nooses.
Yep.
Or they're going to shut down. They're going to have condition removed. They're just going to activate their staggered model so it ends.
Mm-hmm.
And
let's talk about what they're afraid of. So obviously condition removal.
If you can attack his hand.
Yeah.
If you can attack, I mean, if my opponent calls Jack Daw, I'm immediately going through my faction saying, what attacks the hand? What attacks the hand? Because if you attack that hand off Jack Daw, it's a 6 soul stone. It's a 6-wound master.
Yeah. That can
with nothing else besides terrifying.
Or just a lot of AP. Like,
that's it.
Accurate guns, even if they're min 2, that's still a point of damage to Daw, or any sort of incidental damage like that. So black blood could be a problem. The entropy aura, like we talked about before, could be a problem. Anything where you're just doing a point of damage anyway.
Right, a point of damage is a point of damage, and he's only got 6 of them, so that makes a ton of sense. So we started talking about high learning curve.
I think he's a very high learning curve. I think he's very rewarding. We talked about Terror being 3D chess.
Yeah,
he's not that level, but he's very close to it.
Okay,
but I think he will be very rewarding once you learn him.
Very cool.
I think once you learn him, he's not going to be a win big, lose big anymore. I think he's going to become very much like a good Daw player. I think will be scary because he's got damage, he's got control both in conditions. He's got card draw, which is always nice.
That's true.
And then he's moving control in terms he's moving you around too.
Gotcha.
So I see a very good skilled Daw player should be very scary, I think.
All right. But it's going to take some practice.
A lot of practice.
Yeah. Okay. That's the Tormented.